the prayer that unlocks the unconscious. Last year we did our first retreat called the Thunder of Silence, in which we taught this discipline of what some call centering prayer or contemplative prayer. And today we want to do an introduction to this practice, enough for you to know why you would want to do it, and enough for you to just begin this practice. Because despite all that we're going to say, the best way of learning the beauty of this practice is to actually just do it. So what is the basis for a prayer that is essentially silence? First of all, it is based on the fact that there is an experience of God that is beyond words. So much of our engagement in prayer is very wordy. It's either requests. Actually, Jesus spoke about it when he said, don't let your prayers be too filled with words. But then there is also another aspect of this, and that is there's something about you that is beyond words. Now, every day we wake up and our conscious self, our ego, begins telling a story. We're in the process of logically working out what needs to be done, where do we need to go. We're constantly busy in conversation with others, in conversation with ourselves. And the skill of, again, becoming aware of that part of you that is beyond words is very often lost. And so essentially this prayer that unlocks the unconscious is the kind of prayer where you purposely try to move or allow yourself to move out of this conscious mode, this storytelling mode, into a space in which you experience God beyond words, and allow God to do within you the kind of things that you're not even in control of. The kind of communication with the unformed, the uninterpreted, the unconscious that you cannot consciously control. But more about that later. I'm going to ask Mary Ann first to continue on that.
Yeah, and so I think often where I thought of the words "be still and know that I am God" has become, I think, for a lot of people just an answer to, well, I don't understand what's going on, so just be still and know. And kind of a thing I often thought was, just keep calm and carry on. But I think the psalmist was hinting at something of a knowing that goes way beyond just a knowing. And that is found in silence. And many of the mystics have said that the language of God is silence and all else is interpretation.
Wow.
And sometimes bad translation.
Yeah.
And so in the prayer of, I like to call it a prayer of consent or a prayer of surrender or just a simple yes, is just your decision to just say yes, to just be, to just set that 20 minutes aside, whether it be in the morning, in the evening, or even just one time a day is better than none at all. To just be still. Find a place where you can sit comfortably, you can sit upright and be still. And I was thinking of the word humility the other day, and what is true humility really? Is humility just trying to think less of yourself, trying to elevate others, trying to put yourself down so that you're not puffed up? Well, No, true humility. And the Latin word, the root of it is actually humus, which is the word for ground. And that makes so much more sense, because when you truly ground with the essence of your being, when you are still and you sink down into the one who is holding you, who is sustaining you, who is beyond your thoughts, your emotions, who's totally involved with them, but is so much larger, and you are so much larger. When you sink down and you ground, what emerges is a you that is so much greater than you ever imagined, and so much more. And so simply, we can't in a small video like this go through everything like we did a retreat, but to just, for those of you who've been asking, really wanting to start practicing this kind of prayer of silence, to just give you some pointers towards simple things that could help. And as I said, find a place where you can be comfortable, sit quietly, sit upright, so you're not tempted to nod off. And then, you know, whether you initially become conscious of your breath, whether you choose a word that doesn't have to mean anything, but is a simple point where you can just return back when you find yourself getting involved in thoughts, or just a breath or a glance back. And to just remember, maybe 4 R's is easy to remember, and that is resist no thought. Thoughts are part of you. You wouldn't be human if you weren't thinking. You know, your thoughts are not the enemy. Thoughts are part, but so don't resist them when they come. They're going to come and go. But then it brings us to the next thing of not retaining those thoughts. So they may come and go, but don't hold on and start elaborating on those thoughts. But simply, like a little feather, just use either your breath or whatever, let them pass. The next thing is, don't, have I said resist? Yeah. I've said retain. Yeah, have I said retain? Don't react to thoughts. So thoughts might come in the form of emotions even, or something happening within you. That's fine. It's all part of what makes you you, but just don't react to it. And then the last thing, to return, to just return back to that place of, here I am sitting today, and I'm simply consenting to be with you, Papa, and to allow the God who is beyond imaginably good and generous to encounter and to be still and know.
I think many times one of the problems people have had as we teach this practice is to think that the aim is to have no thoughts. Now, that might be a result, but the actual focus of the whole practice is to become aware of the presence of God beyond thoughts. So it's got that real aim, and these are pointers to help you deal with the thoughts that are coming while you practicing this awareness of His presence. So there's a real focus there. The other thing I remember from when we did the week-long retreat that was difficult for people to get their minds around is that they can get their minds around, okay, I'm not going to say something, I'm not going to try and think something, but then people started having the most wonderful revelations. They started hearing God saying things to them. Now, that's wonderful. It's a kind of prayer, but it's not this prayer. This prayer is not the place where you either use words or hear words. This is the kind of prayer where you experience God beyond words, beyond concepts, and you just consent to Him doing in you and communicating with you in that part of you that is also beyond words.
There's so many beautiful, beautiful benefits, and you know, in terms of even in the silence, what emerges, actually you connect more with your world around the world around you and with people, and you are more able to even enjoy the moments of silence. You know, we're so used to needing to have noise. We've got our radios on, even the radio in the car, something's got your earphones in, and you will so begin to appreciate the silence and actually the immense thunder within those moments of silence. And it's, I just wanted to maybe finish off with a little paragraph from a poem by a chap called James O'Donoghue, and it says, "In out of the way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until we are ready to emerge."
Wow.
And there is so much within you that's ready to emerge, and we just excited to say, just go for it. Just do
start. Just do it.
Yeah.
One last mention, we've got another video simply entitled The Unconscious, which might add a little bit more of background information. Love you.
Yeah.
Bless you. Bye.